Right now, you're hearing about artificial intelligence everywhere. It's in the news, it's on social media, your kids are using it for homework. And a lot of people are asking the same question. Where did this come from? How did this happen so fast? Here's the truth. It didn't happen fast. What we're living through right now is the result of 6 different technologies that have each been quietly growing for years, sometimes decades. And they've all reached a tipping point at the same time. Think of it like this. Imagine 6 different rivers, each one getting wider and stronger on its own. For a long time, they were separate. But now, they've all merged into one massive flood. And that flood is what we call the AI revolution. In this video, I'm going to walk you through each of those 6 rivers, in plain English, so you understand not just what AI is, but why it's happening now. Let's start with the engine behind all of this, computing power. Back in 1965, a guy named Gordon Moore, one of the founders of Intel, made a prediction. He said the power of computer chips would roughly double every 2 years, and the cost would go down at the same time. More power, less money, year after year after year. That prediction held true for over 50 years. It even got its own name, Moore's Law. Let me put this in perspective. The smartphone in your pocket right now has more computing power than the computers NASA used to put a man on the moon. That's not an exaggeration. It's literally thousands of times more powerful. But here's where it gets really interesting for AI. The big leap wasn't just regular computer chips. It was something called a GPU, a graphics processing unit. These were originally built to make video games look better. But it turns out, the same technology that renders video game graphics is incredibly good at the kind of math that AI needs to learn. A company called Nvidia, you may have heard of them. They've become one of the most valuable companies on the planet, figured this out. Their GPU chips became the engine of the entire AI revolution. Why does this matter to you? Because computing power is the gas pedal. Without it, AI would still be a science experiment in a university lab. With it, companies can train AI systems on billions of pieces of information in days instead of centuries. Now, a powerful engine is useless without fuel, and the fuel for AI is data. Here's a number that's going to blow your mind. As of right now, in 2026, the world creates about 400 million terabytes of data every single day. Every single day. To put that in perspective, if you tried to store just 1 day's worth of the world's data on DVDs, the stack would reach from the Earth past the Moon. Where is all this data coming from? You, me, all of us. Every Google search you do, every text message you send, and the world sends about 25 billion of those a day. Every photo you post on Instagram or Facebook, every show you stream on Netflix, every purchase you make on Amazon, every time you ask Siri or Alexa a question. There are nearly 5 billion smartphones on the planet right now, and the average American spends over 4 hours a day on theirs. Every tap, every scroll, every click creates data. And it's not just phones. It's security cameras, fitness trackers, smart thermostats, cars with sensors, medical devices. All of it is pouring data into the digital world 24/7. Why does this matter for AI? Because AI learns from data the same way a child learns from experience. The more examples you show it, the smarter it gets. Show an AI 10 pictures of a cat, it might not learn much. Show it 10 million pictures of a cat, and it can identify cats better than you can. All that data we've been creating for years, it became the textbooks that AI used to teach itself. So we've got the engine, computing power, and the fuel, data. But where do you put it all? That's where cloud computing comes in. The cloud is one of those terms that sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Instead of your computer doing all the work and storing all the files, you're using somebody else's really, really powerful computers, located in massive buildings called data centers, and accessing them through the internet. When you save photos to iCloud, or watch a movie on Netflix, or use Google Docs, that's the cloud. The heavy lifting isn't happening on your device. It's happening in a data center that might be hundreds of miles away. Here's why this matters for AI. Training an AI system takes enormous computing power, the kind that no regular person or even most companies could afford to own. But with cloud computing, you can rent that power. A startup in a garage can now access the same computing power that used to only be available to governments and giant corporations. Before cloud computing, AI was locked behind the doors of places like MIT, Stanford, and a handful of big tech companies. The cloud blew those doors wide open. It's like going from needing to own the whole library to just having a library card. Now here's where we get to the aha moment, the thing that actually made AI smart. It's called a neural network, and it's directly inspired by how your brain works. Your brain has about 86 billion tiny cells called neurons. They're all connected to each other in a massive web. When you learn something, say, how to ride a bike, certain connections between neurons get stronger. The more you practice, the stronger those connections get. That's learning. Scientists asked a simple question. What if we could build something similar with computers? The idea actually goes back to the 1940s, but for decades, computers weren't powerful enough to make it work. Researchers would get excited, try to build these systems, hit a wall, and the whole field would go quiet. These dry spells even got a name: AI winters. The game changed in 2012. A researcher named Jeffrey Hinton and his student Alex Krzyzewski built something called AlexNet, a deep neural network that could recognize images better than any system before it. And it ran on those Nvidia GPU chips we talked about earlier. See how the rivers are starting to merge? Here's the simple version of how a neural network works. Imagine you want to teach a computer to tell the difference between a photo of a dog and a photo of a cat. You show it millions of photos, each one labeled dog or cat. The system makes a guess. If it's wrong, it adjusts, just a tiny bit. Then it guesses again. Wrong again? Adjust again. It does this millions of times. Eventually, it gets incredibly accurate, better than most humans. That process of guessing, checking, adjusting, and repeating is the heart of how AI learns. And what made it finally work was having enough computing power, enough data, and affordable access to it all through the cloud. One river alone couldn't do it. It took all of them flowing together. All of this technology is useless if it can't reach people. That's where connectivity, the internet, and especially 5G comes in. As of the end of 2025, there are over 2.7 billion 5G connections around the world. 5G isn't just faster internet on your phone. It's a completely different level of speed and reliability. We're talking about the ability to send and receive massive amounts of data almost instantly. Think about what that enables. A doctor in a rural hospital can send medical scans to an AI system and get results back in seconds. A farmer can use AI-powered sensors across hundreds of acres and get real-time data on soil and weather. A self-driving car can communicate with the road, other cars, and traffic systems all at once. And for regular people like you and me, it means AI-powered tools like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, voice assistants, translation apps work fast and smooth on our phones, anywhere we go. Without fast, reliable internet reaching billions of people, AI stays trapped in Silicon Valley. Connectivity is the highway that brings AI to the rest of us. The last river is where AI starts to step out of your phone and into the physical world. Robotics and sensors. For most of AI's history, it's lived behind a screen. You type, it responds. But that's changing fast. Sensors are what allow machines to feel the world around them. Cameras that see. Microphones that hear. Devices that detect temperature, motion, pressure, location. Your phone alone has about a dozen sensors in it. When you combine AI with sensors, you get machines that can understand their environment. Add robotics, and those machines can move and act in that environment. We're already seeing this. Warehouses where robots pick and pack orders. Factories where machines inspect products for defects better than human eyes can. Autonomous tractors planting crops. Drones delivering medical supplies. In 2026, we're seeing companies invest billions in humanoid robots. Robots that walk, pick things up, and navigate spaces designed for people. It's early, but it's accelerating. This is where AI goes from being a tool on a screen to a physical presence in the world. And it's only possible because all the other rivers, computing power, data, cloud, neural networks, connectivity, finally converged to make it happen. So let's zoom out. 6 technologies, each one growing on its own for years. And right now, in 2025, 2026, they've all reached a level of maturity where they amplify each other. Computing power gave us the engine. Data gave us the fuel. Cloud computing made it affordable and accessible. Neural networks gave AI the ability to learn. Connectivity brought it to billions of people. And robotics and sensors are giving it a body. This is why it feels like AI exploded out of nowhere. It didn't. It just reached the point where all 6 pieces clicked together at the same time. Like ingredients in a recipe: flour, sugar, butter, eggs, heat, and time. None of them alone make a cake. But combine them all? That's what we're seeing. Peter Diamandis, who we talked about in the first video, calls this convergence. And he says this is exactly the pattern we've seen before with other major technology shifts. Individual technologies grow quietly on their own until they collide, and then everything changes fast. That's where we are right now, and the pace is only accelerating. In the next video, we're going to zoom in on AI itself, what it actually is, how it works, and why it's different from anything we've seen before. No jargon, no hype, just a clear explanation that anyone can follow. If this video helped you understand something new, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. My goal with this channel is to make sure everyday people, not just tech insiders, understand what's happening and how to prepare for it. See you in the next one.